everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and today I'm coming back with another review on Selling Sunset Season 6, Episode 3, Old Deals Die Hard. Okay. I have a lot of notes, but I'm going to try to shorten this up because it really wasn't much going on. The real tea is at the end, like always. They always wait to the end, I guess, to keep you, engaged and want to watch it again, but I'm like, come on now. Like it's the same formula throughout the season, I guess. But I'm gonna get right into it because I want this to be short. I really don't want this to be 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling and get right into the episode. All right, the episode starts with Chelsea showing up to a house in Manhattan Beach. It's right off the beach. It's very nice. It's giving real Hamptons vibes. It's 22 million. It has 4 bedrooms, 9 baths. Right? Yeah. It just sounds weird to say 4 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms. Like that's a lot of bathrooms for just 4 bedrooms. But I guess rich people, they like to poop, I guess, you know. And she's getting the house ready. She said this is the biggest listing she's ever had. And Amanda and Heather shows up. They gush about Heather's baby bump and how her booty is getting bigger. When they showed her booty, it was flat. So then they start talking about, Manza brings up Christine not being in the office anymore. And, Heather said it feels good to not have that tension in the office anymore. And of course, Chelsea is Christine's friend. I wonder if I wish they would have asked her, like, do you hang out with her? Because I don't think that they're, like, legit friends. I think she was just the person that ushered her in, like how Heather is ushering Bree into the group. Her and Heather, well, at least Heather admitted that she's not Bree's friend. She just wanted to get to know her, before the group did. So I wonder if they still friends. But anyways, Chelsea was like, oh, I still think she's cool. She still has great vibes. And then they make a joke talking about, we're just going to nickname Christine, who shall not be named. And Chelsea laughed. I thought that was so fake. I'm like, girl, that wasn't even funny. You over here. I was trying to take a screenshot of her laughing because she was just all mouth wide open. I'm like, girl, you really thought that was funny? Then they get into Bree. I think Amanda asked, how do y'all feel about Bree? And Heather said, oh, I think she's nice, And then Amanda says, oh, well, everyone's really nice when you first get to meet them. And then Chelsea was like, yeah, it's easy to be nice. The hardest part is to see if she's kind, if she's a kind person. Girl, you're not a kind person. I hate when people do this, make it seem like, oh, she's nice, but is she kind? Are you kind? I think that's all that happened in that scene. But, oh, yeah, Chelsea was like, oh, yeah, in her confessional, it was like, only time will tell, the jury's out on her. Girl, bye. Next scene. The next scene is all the ladies at the old group and they're chit-chatting. Heather talks about how, her stomach is growing. That's... Okay, I never been pregnant, so I don't want to be like, oh, that's all she's going to talk about this season is her being pregnant. So, I mean, this is her first child. I'm going to let her have it, honestly, because if I become pregnant, that's probably all I'm going to be talking about too. Girl, oh, look at my stomach. It's busting up these pants. I used to just get 15 pants just a week ago. But anyways, and then they laugh. And then Jason comes in. Oh, they make a joke about, Bree asks Chriselle, like, to give her the backstory, like, was you and Jason dating? And Chriselle was like, yeah, but who hasn't dated? If you raise your hand if you dated Jason. Mary raised her hand and Nicole surprisingly raises her hand. And Nicole talks about how she was the OG, the original girlfriend. She was the girlfriend before them. Ew. And they got a nerve to ask Bree, do you want to date Jason? And she was like, ew, no. And then conveniently, here comes Jason comes in with his girlfriend, Mary Lou. I thought it was funny that Jason asked Mary Lou outside, like, "Oh, how did you get here?" She was like, "Oh, I took an Uber," and he was like, "Why you didn't just take the Bentley? Didn't I text you about taking the Bentley?" He wanted her to like pull up, like how all the other girls be pulling up and they showing the car, and she steps out, and that girl was walking from the block down, walked in. He was like, "How did you get here?" And she's like, "Oh, an Uber." I kind of like her. You know what? Don't even fake the funk. Just show up like how you always show up to his house from an Uber. So then after he asked her how did she get there, they walk in, and he introduces her like he doesn't say Mary Lou. He says Maria Lou or something Maria Lou. Like he added like a Marie. Like I'm like, wait, is her name not Mary Lou? I thought it was. I've been writing Mary Lou. But I think she has an accent, so she introduced herself like Marie Lou because she's from Germany, but she lived in Paris. That's what she told the group. And because they asked 100 questions like, "Oh, how old are you? Oh, where did y'all meet? Oh, da, da, da." And she was just like, standing there, all cutesy. And Amanda asked Mary Lou, "Was she a model in Paris?" And she said, "Yes, I was a model." And here come Jason. He can't. I feel like he felt a little, y'all judging my girl. Like he was like, but she studied economics. And here comes Shady Chriselle in her confessional talking about, oh yeah, that's fitting for her. I bet she did study economics because being with Jason is economically beneficial to her. So I guess the producers, after she said that, was looking at her like, because she was like, what? Awkward. Like, girl. So after they grill Mary Lou, I think that's how he said it. They leave. Jason and Mary Lou leaves, and then they start grilling Bree. And they was asking her like, "Oh, are you single?" And she was like, "Well, I'm not single. I'm kind of in a relationship, but it's kind of complicated. I'm kind of like in an open relationship." And it was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "Yeah, it's kind of complicated. It's kind of hard right now because he filmed for like 3 months." And they was like, "Oh, and how many babies he got right now?" Is like 11. She was like, "I think 11 or 10, one of those." And they was like, "Well, how does he see you?" She was like, "I don't know how she. I mean, I see him every morning and every night." And then they was like, "Well, how does that work? He got like so many kids. How does he see you every morning, every night, and also see his other kids?" And she was like, "I don't know how he sees his other kids. I can only say how he sees me." And then here come Chelsea, Miss Judgmental. "Oh, well, so you're telling me he sees you at 6 a.m. and then he goes there to 6:30 and then he goes somewhere else and that's at 9. Then he goes somewhere else and then by the time he's done looking at going to all the houses, it's about 2 p.m. And then will he come back to you?" And then Bree was like, "Possibly. I don't." Bree was not phased at all. And then Chelsea was like, "Well, I couldn't be me. I like monogamy. I like a monogamy." And she was like, "Well, that's whatever works for you, works for you. I'm cool. I like what I got going on right now." And you can tell Chelsea was just like, "So this is not phasing her." I really like Bree. Bree knows how to catch the shade that's thrown at her, throw it back without even breaking a sweat and with a smile on her face, and she looks like she's not even phased. And I think that bothers Chelsea. She was not bullied, but picked on when she first started. So she thinks that, oh, now there's a new girl, I can pick on her like they did me. But the thing is, you was phased about the things that they were doing to you. She's not phased at all. She thinks it's fun. So Chelsea's Chelsea's confessional, because she's too P-word, meow, to say it in her face. She was like, "Well, how can you, if you can't be loyal to one guy, how can you be loyal as a friend? Like, I don't know if I can be your friend if you can't, because loyalty is very important to me." Girl, I really don't think Bree wants to be your friend, honestly. Like, why do you feel like somebody wants to be your friend? Bree doesn't give me that vibes that she wants to be your friend. Bree gives me the vibes that she just wants to come to work, do her work, and go home. That's it. So why do you feel like she wants to be a friend? In the next scene, we have Bree. She pulls up to this house that we saw in the last episode because she's actually working. And she meets up with her billionaire client, showing the house that I loved. That was the black on the outside. It was black and like black kitchen and all that. It was nice. So after she shows him the house, she was like, what you think? And he was like, yeah, it's nice, because this is a $24 million home. He's like, oh, it's nice, I just want to get more options just to see, and then once I see a little few more options, then I can make a decision. And she was like, cool, I'm gonna just pick places, in Malibu here and there, just to give you, so you can see the different options that LA has. And he was like, cool, cool. One thing, I did get a phone call from another broker when I was in New York, and she was like, oh, who is it? And then he was like, Emma. And she was like, Emma from like the O group? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, what was she calling you about? And he was like, she was calling me to see if I was interested in looking at houses in LA. And she was like, really? Like, what would you say? Like, he was like, I'm loyal to you. Like, you've been my friend and realtor for years. Like, I'm not about to switch up on you. You about to be my realtor. And she was like, good. Let's keep it that way. That's fine. Thank you. And that was the end of the episode. And I was like, okay, Emma, doing some shady-ish behind the scenes and try to act like you ain't doing nothing shady behind the scenes. Emma, focus on those two listings, especially that one listing from last year that you still haven't sold because of the insurance cost of the fire insurance. Focus on those two listings first, and let's sell those first before you try to backdoor another agent and trying to get more clients. Your track record is not impeccable, so you need to work on your track record and sell some homes, and then worry about a billionaire client. Because right now, you looking like you really are not a good real estate agent. Because why are you still working on this listing that's been on the market since last year? And it's a nice home, so it should be able to sell itself, and I'm pretty sure that's what you think. So you're not putting in the effort, because like you said last episode, they asked you how was the broker's opening. Oh, it was fun. No, girl, that's not what they was asking when they asked you how was it. They asking because they want to know if you got any clients from the broker's opening, like anybody was interested in the house. But anyways, moving on to the next scene. All right, the next scene, we have Mary and her husband. They're having a dinner date, and then Jason and Mary Lou meets up with them to have the dinner date with them. So it's a double date. And Jason and Mary Lou is just so giddy and so happy, and he says he's just so happy. And Mary is like, oh, are you in love? And he was like, yeah, I'm in love. I've only been in love with Mary and Chriselle, I'm sorry. I keep calling that girl Chriselle. I only been in love with Mary and Chriselle. So I definitely know what love is. And I thought that was funny that he didn't say Nicole, because Nicole swears she's the original OG, the original girlfriend. And he didn't love you, girl. Yikes. Oh, and they dated like 14 years ago. So I wouldn't even bring that up. I ain't saying your bodies get deleted, but I ain't bringing up no 14-year-old relationship like it's a flex. No, it's not a flex at all. So then they discuss, Jason just pretty much blindsides Mary and tells her, I want you, in a few weeks, I need you to take over the company, manage the agents, take over my listings, manage the penthouse, and, pretty much be me for like 3 weeks, because I'm going to Europe and I'm trying to disconnect from the company. And Mary was like, you're joking, right? And he was like, no, I'm serious. And she was like, even her husband was like, but is this a joke? Because, her husband is the contractor over the penthouse. So he's like, what are you talking about? Like, we ain't never heard you talking about you gonna disconnect from the company. And he was like, I'm so serious. Like, I need 3 weeks to build a strong bond with Mary Lou in Europe. Like, I want to focus on my relationship right now, and I need you to handle the office. And she was like, he was like, I feel like you can do it. And she was like, I really don't have a lot of time today for the things that I have to do, let alone work on your listings, but I will try my best. And that's where that scene ended. In the next scene, we have Nicole. She's straightening everything up and tightening up at her listings. It's 5 beds, 5 baths, and it's a roughly almost 5,000 square feet. Heather shows up, and Nicole shows her around the house and says that it's been remodeled from top to bottom. It's nice. It's gorgeous. Heather is wild by everything. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And Halle Berry lives right across the street. Hi, Hallie. Blase blah. Then Mary shows up. She's in all of the house as well, and they decide to go outside to have a little chit chat. Mary gives them the update that Jason is already out of town. He already left, and he's gonna be gone for 3 weeks. And he just dropped the whole company in her lap. And they asked her like, "Are you stressed about that?" And she was like, "Honestly, yeah. I really don't know how I'm gonna handle everything by myself, and." And honestly, I think the brother Brett, he must be at the other agency. They have another, like the OC, if I'm not mistaken. So he might be spending most of his time at the other agency, because I hardly see him. He's never all. I think he was in the office one time. I think that was last episode, but this episode we didn't see him at all. So they talked about that, and Nicole was like, "It's crazy because if the roles were reversed and it was you, I'm guessing they had to leave for 3 weeks and drop everything and try to drop everything in Jason's lap. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't go for it. But at the same time, that's the cost to be the boss. Like, he's the boss. He got the money. He got the riches. He can afford to just drop everything. What you thought you was being the manager for? Like, you have to manage without him sometimes. Like, that was I feel like that was the whole point of making you manager, so he can have other people to lean on to take care of business while he's out of the office or he's at the other location. So then somehow Nicole brings up Chriselle and how she thinks that Jason is a better person without Chriselle, and he just seems much happier. And then she brings up the fact that she gets this bad vibe from Chriselle or whatever, and Heather kept on saying, oh, that's your opinion. Oh, that's how you feel. That's the energy that you're getting from yourself, right? You're getting this energy from her, towards you only. Oh, okay. I can tell by Heather, she was like taking notes, like, oh, I'm about to run back to Chriselle and tell her everything. Because what? You talking mad cash-ish right now about Chriselle for no reason. And so that's pretty much how that scene ended. Like, she was just talking crap about Chriselle, saying, I'm glad Jason is no longer with her. He used to like when he was with Chriselle, and I would call him about business. He'd be like, "What is it? I'm with Chriselle," and she was like, "Oh, calm down. Like, I'm married." Then why are you flexing that you was Jason's girlfriend 14 years ago? You married. If I'm married, I'm not bringing up no old relationship from 14 years ago as a flex. But anyway, she was like, I'm married. I'm not calling you for nothing else but business. And it was like, and Heather was like, oh, that was the energy that you received from him personally. Oh, okay. And I was like, ooh. Chriselle about to get that information. Okay. So let's move on to the last scene. Okay, so we open up this last scene with Chelsea. She's having her first broker's opening at the O Group. It's called Beauty on the Beach. And she got oysters and lobster tails and a big old table full of charcuterie stuff, meat and all this and all that. And she's just excited that she's about to have, this broker's opening. And all the ladies started to arrive, they rubbing Heather's belly. They talking, Bree looking at Emma like, girl, wait till I talk to you about this real quick. And I'm like, ooh, it's about to get good. And then Mary and Nicole shows up, and then Chriselle and Emma shows up together looking like little, like a candy, like two different colored candies or something. And when Chriselle walked through the door, she like bypassed Nicole and says hello to everybody else. Like she gives Heather a hug, she gives Mary a hug, and Nicole clocked it. She was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, you just gonna act like you don't see me?" And I was like, "Oh, she knows. She knows what you've been saying about her." Okay, and I think the way that Mary was just sitting there, I think Mary, it didn't come up that Mary said anything, but I think Mary might have went back and told Chriselle what she'd been saying about her too. So the first little altercation was Bree and Emma. Bree pulls Emma to the side to have a conversation about what her client told her. She was like, "Hey, what's this thing with you calling one of my clients behind my back and trying to poach him?" And she was like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, who are you talking about?" And she was like, "Adam." And she was like, "He told me that you called him and you wanted to show him, listings in LA. I just wanted to let you know and clear it up that he's my client and he's not going anywhere." And Emma looks like she was caught. Like honestly, she looked caught. Like she admits to calling him, but she's saying that, "Oh, I only called him because he's a vegetarian and I have my vegetarian empanadas and I wanted to send him some. I just wanted him to taste my empanadas." Like that's all it was. It was just a conversation about empanadas. And in Bree's confessional, she was like, "Right, hide behind them empanadas." Bree don't believe it, and I don't believe it either. So you admit to calling him, but you wasn't trying to poach him. You wasn't trying to. You was just trying to send him empanadas. But yet she was like, "I don't know why he told you that. I don't know if that was this is Emma saying, I don't know why he told you that. It must be some miscommunication somewhere." And she was like, Bree handled it well. She was like, "Okay, well, I might have to go back to him and figure out what was the deal of him telling me that when clearly it's not true. But just to let you know, I just want to clear the air that it's my client and, we're good for now. But if we have any more issues, I'm going to deal with that, all right?" And Emma just like, "Okay, yeah, great," all in her face. So there was one part I forgot. I forgot that Bree was like, "Okay, I was just kind of clear the air because I heard that you do stuff like this." And then Bree was like, "What you mean? What you talking about? I do stuff like this?" And then she was like, "Well, I heard you tried to steal a client from Christine." And as soon as she said Christine out her mouth, Emma was like, hold up right there, hold up. First of all, Christine is a sociopathical, habitual liar. I wasn't the one that was trying to steal clients. She was trying to steal clients from me. I don't believe that. I think you were trying to steal clients from Christine. Because how are Christine trying to steal clients from you and you can't even sell one home that you've been having the same client for like 2 years? And he wants to F you so bad that he's willing to throw you another home on top of the one that you can't sell. Girl, and I'm supposed to believe that Christine, the one that's actually selling homes, I think she just sold Beyonce her home. If that wasn't a lie, her home in Malibu, and you want me to believe that Christine was trying to steal clients from you? Okay, girl. So in Emma's confessional, she's like, "I don't know where Bree getting this information from, but the next time you come to me with anything, you need to come with me with facts and make sure your stuff is legit before you come to me." Girl, you ain't say none of that to her face. I hate when they be all in the confessionals being little gangsters. Chelsea and Emma, like, say that to her face. But in her face, she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, great. Well, we're good, yeah, good to know." But in your confessional, yeah, the information. If she next time she come to me, she need to make sure it's facts before she try to approach me with anything. Girl, oh, you told her. Girl, all right. All right, so this is the scene that I've been waiting on, which is Nicole and Chriselle having a sit-down conversation and discuss what Nicole has been saying about her in these past few episodes, right? So Chriselle pulls Nicole to the side, which is outside, with the doors closed and everything. And she asked Nicole, like, what's been going on? I heard that you've been talking about me and Jason's relationship, and like I've been hearing a lot of stuff going on. What's going on with you? Saying about what you said about me and Jason. And Nicole was like, "Oh, I just said that, it just seems like he is much happier with Mary Lou than when he was with you. But right now, I don't think right now this setting is like this is a professional setting, and Chelsea is having her brokers opening. She really was trying to shut the conversation down. I'm thinking the way Nicole talking, she was just gonna lay everything out like Bree was laying everything out. No, she was trying to hurry up and shut that conversation down real quick. Like, oh well, I don't think this is a professional conversation, and this is Chelsea's brokers opening, and I don't think this is. And then Chriselle was like, "What you mean? We're talking to each other. It's not professional for you to go to all of my coworkers and tell them negative things about me and saying that I'm stealing listings from you. What's that about? What's that?" So Nicole was like, "Oh well, like." She was like, "What house are you?" Chriselle was like, "What house are you referring to?" So she names the house. I didn't write it down because I didn't care. She names the house, and Chriselle was like, "Oh, you talking about a house that we sold 3 years ago?" When she said 3 years ago, I'm like, Nicole, what? She's like, "Yeah, a house that we sold 3 years ago," and Nicole was like, "Yeah, but you pretty much had your name on the house, and I pretty much did all the work, and I don't understand, She was trying to talk, and Chriselle was like, "Wait a minute, hold up. First of all, this was Jason's listing, and he asked both of us to be on the listing. This was his listing, his client. So I just did what he told me to do, which was just be on the listing with you." And she was like, "Right." And, but I had the buyer. I brought in the buyer. And she was like, "Yeah, okay. But I did do some work to help sell the house." And she was like, "Well, I still don't think, it's, but it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with my professional reputation out here in these streets." And Chriselle was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. What you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, girl, your professional reputation? Like, what did I do to ruin your professional reputation? Like, I thought we was cool. Like, I was throwing you listings when I couldn't make it to something." And then Nicole was like, "Girl, that was a referral, but I do appreciate you throwing that towards me. But that was just a referral," and try to downplay what Chriselle was doing. And she was like, "Exactly. It was a referral, but you still didn't act like you had an issue with me. If you had an issue, still had an issue with me from 3 years ago, why haven't you said anything to me? Why I have to hear from everybody around the office that you talking crap about me?" And then, so it starts to get heated. Also said, "Yes, this was like one of my first few listings, and I felt a little overwhelmed, but you did sell the home, and I didn't take not one single dime from this listing. One single dime. So what's the big deal?" When Chriselle said she didn't take one single dime from the selling of the home, this is when Nicole starts to stumble over her words, and this is when I started to look at her sideways. I'm like, I had your back for these two episodes, thinking that, okay, girl, you gonna stand on it. You got the facts. You about to hit Chriselle with these facts. She been out here being shady, but when she said she didn't take one single dime from the listing, I was like, then what is she upset about? And then she trying to blame it on her professional reputation, and then start stuttering over her words, talking about, "Oh, but do you remember who your was the buyer and back then and 3 years ago?" And Chriselle was like, "Girl, no, I don't remember who the buyer was." She was like, "Well, I do. I can go back and pull the facts. I can pull the facts." And then at this point, Chriselle's just confused about, like, what are we talking about? Are you really keep talking about this 3-year listing? It's been 3 years ago. I don't remember what was happening 3 years ago. I had a lot going on in my life since then, and I had multiple listings since then. And not once have you said anything to me about you feeling some type of way. So then I can tell Nicole is losing this argument because her point is not being proven because no one knows what the point is. This is when Nicole loses me altogether and starts to say that she thinks Chriselle likes to play this victim role and have this victim mentality. And that's when Chriselle like, bitch, who you talking to? Girl, I don't know who you talking to. Talking about I am a victim. I am no victim. I've been through a lot in my life right now. And I'm telling you, I ain't no victim. And then that's all Nicole needs. Oh, don't call me a B. Don't call me a B. She was like, I'm going to call you one because you are one and you acting like one. I said, ooh, Shell acting gangster. Okay. So then Nicole was like, you can't call me one because you don't even know me. And Chriselle was like, exactly. I don't know you. You don't know me. So why are you going around telling everybody that you got an issue with me for something that happened 3 years ago when I didn't take one single dime from the commission? So what is the real problem? It's no problem, is it? So then Nicole's like, so when she walks off, Chriselle walks off, and she was like, so what's the problem? If I ain't take no dime from the situation, what's the problem? Because then Nicole agrees, because she asked her, who got paid for that house that you have an issue with? She's like, me and Jason. And Chriselle was like, exactly. You and Jason got paid for the listing. So what is the issue? There's no issue. So she walks off and then she gonna say, that's all you do, Nicole. Nicole says, that's all you do. You just want to walk off. You want to walk off, girl. What? She was like, I'm going to have this conversation with Jason and Mary and we're going to get down to the facts. So she pulls Mary to the side and said, listen, I'm going to have a conversation with you and Jason and we're going to get down to the facts and we're going to squash this because I don't have time to be going back and forth with her. Like, what's wrong with her? Like, she's talking about something that happened 3 years ago. Like, I got to go. I got to go. So that's when Chriselle leaves out the door and that's when the episode ends. Let me make sure I ain't missed nothing. That was it. I really enjoyed that episode. I'm gonna give that episode an A+, baby. Because one, it still made me like Bree. I'm Team Bree. I like Bree. I don't care if she's with Nick Cannon and he got all these babies and all that. I like the fact that she is upfront. She say what she mean and she says it to the person's face, not just in the confessional. She says what she says to their face and all they can do is smile and, okay, okay, yeah. I'm telling you straight up, and that's how I am. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not trying to fight, I'm just gonna let you know what I gotta say. It also made me not like Nicole this episode. I thought I was Team Nicole and Bree. I thought I was here for the new girls. Now I'm just Team Bree, period. Because Nicole, it seemed like you using this old situation to have an issue with Chriselle. Like, I feel like it's more to the issue than what you're laying on, and it has nothing to do with the listening. I think you're just jealous of Nicole. You jealous of who she is from this show, and you jealous that she got it easy and you didn't, because you did the same thing that she did, was date Jason, but it doesn't seem like Jason was really, I don't know what you and Jason's relationship was back in 12 years ago, but it doesn't seem like it was this type of relationship with Chriselle, and he was throwing her listings, and she was like, oh, it seemed like he was throwing her listings because he had a crush on her. Okay, he the boss, he could do that, and it worked. But the one thing he did say is he was in love with Mary, and he was in love with Chriselle. Not you, honey. Not you. So, yes, I'm definitely going to give this episode an A+. It gave me everything I needed. I'm not Team Chriselle because I still do feel what Nicole said was that she was using Jason for, a come up. And it's funny that she wants to say that Mary Lou is using Jason for a come up for economic benefits. Girl, that's what she was doing? You laughing because that's exactly what you was doing. You know exactly what she doing because that's exactly what you was doing. Okay, so I'm still on the fence with Chriselle. I still don't really like her, even though she did get into Nicole butt and did prove Nicole was a little hater. Okay. But that's all for this episode, you guys. I want y'all to go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what y'all thought. Are y'all team Bree or team Emma? Are y'all team Chriselle or y'all team Nicole? It's Nicole versus Chriselle. Okay, this episode. I think that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm coming back with more episodes. I'm trying to stay consistent with this episode, this show, since all I have to do is watch it on my phone or watch it whenever I don't have nothing else to watch. I'm gonna come back with an overall review of Summer House Martha Vineyard. It kind of just lost me, honestly. It really wasn't. I never really liked none of the summer houses. I just was trying to watch it because it was, my skin folks in the show, and it was kind of cool when it first started, but I kind of fell off on it. So I might wait till like all of the episodes air and just do an overall review on the show. Okay. And I got more stuff coming this week. Hopefully. I do. I'm not gonna say hopefully because I do. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.